excellent question. I think it depends what district you look at. I think on average we spend about a little bit over $8,000 per student, and we can look at it by different categories, but again it really depends what district, what the needs of the district are. Should we be spending more? Well, I think it's a real complex question. I think the reality is that as a nation we're in a different, we have different expectations now, and we're moving to defining student success in different ways.
Money is not the most important factor in measuring the success of a system or reform. Money is obviously important, but we have been in a recession, and we've experienced some of the toughest economic times that the state has ever encountered, I think, in its existence. And I personally believe that throwing money at a problem does not solve the problem, that we need to look at how we expend those dollars. And I think that as stewards of the taxpayers' dollars, that we need to expend them carefully and wisely.
I can tell you that in Lyon County School District, we're about $6,600 in our distributive school account. And we actually are going up this next year about $100 a student. But that's not the whole funding picture by any means. And we are seeing a lot of declines in our federal programs, that they're declining. And so the whole picture of finances is complex. But we do need to be very accountable for all of our dollars that we received, and that's where I really compliment the Nevada legislature, the 76th session, is that the accountability piece was a major piece of reform.
The United States is reaching approximately $12,000 per pupil as an annual expenditure, substantially higher than that in places like New Jersey, New York, Connecticut. New Jersey's getting up to $20,000 a pupil. And Nevada spends about $9,000. Nevada is clearly on the low end, actually one of the lower states, and by measures used to appraise a state's wealth, Nevada is actually a poor state, and there's no getting around that. There's not a lot here to tax. Yes, you could have an income tax, and then you'd probably see what business there is here just moving to Texas anyway. So that would be a poor choice.
Obviously, funding is a question in almost every state in this country. They are facing, there's very few that even have enough to cover what they need. And the stretch is typically in social services. So in whether you increase the spending is whether or not you can do that. And if you can't do that, can you actually employ some measures that say, here's where we can create efficiencies without losing our effectiveness?